Hi, I'm Jessica Stone. Many of you have probably been on the edge of your seat and waiting really anxiously to watch what the stock market's been doing in the last couple of days. And certainly Austin Root, our Director of Research here at Stansberry, you've been watching very anxiously. But you also have some reassurance for investors, something that you've really put together to reassure our subscribers. Tell me about the memo you just sent out.
That's right. We started with 4 points that we really want to focus on. But the first is don't panic. We've seen big moves in the market like this, and we'll see them again. The market is trying to reprice and reassess new information as it gets it, and there'll be some manic moves, but our message is take a deep breath, relax, and make those decisions that are best for the long term.
So what are some things people can be doing right now to get prepared for that? Not just the deep breaths, but is there something they can be doing to make sure their portfolio is stable while they're going forward?
Yes, we do want to make sure their portfolio is financially stable. So what that means is take an assessment. Have you protected yourself? Have you invested in portfolio protection? Are you making sure that when you hit certain stops, you're honoring those trailing stops? Do you know whether you have cash and gold on hand for when things could get potentially a little bit worse?
And you actually also have some advice just to kind of help people prioritize how to approach this, make themselves feel safe before making these kinds of decisions. Tell me about that.
That's right. So over the long term, we do see some really interesting opportunities to invest. You may have heard the phrase buy the dip. We don't want you to necessarily buy the dip though until you know that you are financially stable. So let's reassess our own house. Do we have more assets than we do liabilities? Are we able to, do we have cash reserves for if we hit a rainy day? If those things are in order, then it is time maybe for long-term investors only to start thinking about tipping their toes back into the market.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes here, because this is crunch time for Stansberry analysts and editors. What's everybody here doing to help subscribers get ready for this?
That's a great question, Jessica. You know, we have over 30 analysts and editors, and we are all working tirelessly to figure this out. So we are really focused on building portfolios and investment opportunities for the long term, so that make sure folks know that they can be protected and they have a great investment and they can protect their nest egg over the long term. However, obviously these are big moves. So we are taking all the data, crunching it, and trying to produce what we think is the best investment research that is available to subscribers.
You mentioned buying the dip. Is there some advice you have for people who are in a position to do that? What would you tell them? If they see a price drop on something that could really escalate quickly, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so I think you need to, first off, identify your shopping list. Look at those companies that are impacted and impaired materially in the short term, where you could be concerned a little bit about those earnings for the short term, but that the long-term story is not impacted. I'll give you one example, Jessica. We have recommended subscribers dip their toe and buy back into MGM resorts. So MGM is down 47% from the highs, and yet while we totally recognize that the near-term earnings are going to be terrible, our long-term view on the company hasn't changed much. This is a company that's really asset light. You wouldn't think that about a casino operator. They're actually selling their assets to a real estate portfolio investor. And so now they keep the brands. Now they generate much higher returns on their invested capital.
Okay, so some things to think about, but it all starts with remaining calm, sort of that keep calm and carry on mentality.
That's right, and know that we have you back. We're focused on providing the best research we can.
All right, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jessica.